All right, we're going to jump in with those five different inner saboteurs that I set you up with last week talking about. And the first one we're going to talk about is perfectionism. And again, this is based on the work of Dr. Valerie Young, the stuff she's done with imposter syndrome. And we're going to have a little bit different spin on it with a focus on self-confidence. But that's all intertwined with imposter syndrome and feeling like a fake. So, first one we're going to talk about is perfectionism. So many people, they don't write off perfectionism. So many people say that they're a perfectionist and it's almost like it's something to be celebrated. But as John Acuff, one of my favorite authors, talks about, he says, perfectionism is nothing more than fear dressed in a tuxedo. Perfectionism is nothing more than fear dressed up in a tuxedo. And when I heard John say that, it really couldn't be more true, especially relating to self-confidence, because nothing's perfect, right? Like if you're under the impression that anything is perfect on this side of heaven, like truly perfect, sorry to sorry to spoil your party, but there is no such thing as perfect over here. On this side of heaven, things are not going to be 100% absolutely no flaws. We can get close, certainly, and excellence is something that we need to continually strive for. But this illusion of perfect and being perfect and having no mistakes, that is truly just an illusion. So if you're someone who really finds themselves just chasing after perfection and getting into all the little tiny, tiny details that truthfully, if you were to step back and give an honest evaluation of something, like, does it really matter? These little teeny tiny details. Sometimes, yeah, sometimes things need to really have these details focused in, but trying to make it absolutely perfect with zero flaws is, that's folly. So we talk about perfectionism as it's something to be celebrated because, I think a lot of people have this assumption that it means that you're after excellence all the time. Great, go after excellence, but know when to say that it's good enough. Good enough doesn't mean bad. Good enough means that it meets the spec. Good enough means that it meets wherever the requirements are. If you want to exceed the requirements, cool, go for that. But don't hide behind a veil of perfectionism because this might this might step on your toes a little bit. So sorry, not sorry about that. But truly ask yourself when you find yourself getting wrapped up in perfectionism into all these little teeny tiny nuanced details, stop and say, am I really just scared? Am I really just scared of putting this work out there and someone telling me that it's not good enough or critiquing it? Am I hiding behind trying to make it perfect to delay me putting this out into the world because I'm scared of what people might actually say? Like, I've been there. I get it. I totally get it. And being aware of my perfectionistic tendencies, perfectionistic, is that a word? Anyway, whenever I find myself starting to get wrapped up in all the details, that's when I know I really need to hit pause and do a serious self-evaluation. And most of the time, it's because I'm scared of putting something out there. Like for this video exactly, like I'm a little nervous to put it out there, starting off this 5-part series. So I'm thinking of all the ways as I'm talking, well, that's not right. I guess I could re-record this. Guess what? I'm sure it's good enough. And if you've made it this far, obviously it was. So going forward, a lot of this just becomes with being self-aware, being, growing your confidence and just understanding how you respond to different situations, getting that information, and then making a plan to do better, to go more towards the path that you want. So if you find yourself and you know that you can be a perfectionist, notice when that comes up, hit the brakes, evaluate what's going on, maybe get some input from a trusted advisor. And you're going to hear me saying this a lot. If you feel like you don't have any trusted advisors, then what you need to do is actually start pouring more into other people. If you don't have the people in your life supporting you, you need to pour yourself into other people first. And then I can guarantee It might take a little while, but that tribe will start forming around you. So if you're blessed enough to have trusted advisors, cool. Maybe get some information, some feedback off of them. If you don't have trusted advisors, give yourself the gift of time and reevaluate what you're looking at and saying, am I trying to be too perfectionistic about this right now? And finally, if you're finding yourself without a tribe or trusted advisors around you, start pouring into other people, and that tribe will be built up around you. All right. So next week, we're going to be jumping into probably the biggest one that I resonate with. One of the things that I have struggled with my whole life, and that is being the soloist slash lone wolf. And we're going to dig into that next week. Till then, onward and upward, everybody. Take care.